Hello, everybody. I am Erdo Saber, and I am joined with,
I'm spicy.
and this is the this is the 1221 All Skills Tournament 2021. This is round 3 between Tipu and Cerpin, and we are going to be getting ready 1 minute. If you want to make any other announcements as I count them down.
Yeah, sure. A little bit of background on the race. Cerpin has a 55XX PB, and Tipu has an verified 102 PB. So Serpin's definitely the favored runner here, but tournament nerves can do a lot, and we never know. Tipu might PB here, and it could definitely be a very good race.
All right, I just counted them down. They should be getting started rather quickly. And I'm excited for this race. It should be a pretty good one. Serpin and Tipu are both pretty good runners, very good runners. This tournament has a lot to show from both of them, so I'm excited. They should be starting any minute now. Stream delay things.
And now they're just starting to load in. We'll see them drop into Kane's Pass in a moment. You'll see right as they load in, they'll pause to gain early control here, and then do an inventory drop to cancel the hard fall at the start of the game.
Yep, and that's a trick we're going to be using pretty commonly throughout this run to get down as fast as possible. There are a couple little minor glitches that we use throughout the run. Some of them being the thing you just saw there, the inventory drop, and then there are a couple more that you're gonna see showcased pretty soon. Especially in this run, there's a decent amount of lever skips, which we hit levers through walls, which are they're pretty fun skips, and hope you guys enjoy them. Little quick sync up right there, and the runner should be pretty well synced.
Yeah, it looks like Serpin's about a second ahead exiting Kane's Pass. So no huge difference between the runners yet.
Yep. For the first 10 minutes or so, the run is pretty consistent. Most runners of pretty much all levels, there won't be too big of a discrepancy. As we go on, though, the run gets usually progressively harder, and we'll see more and more, or hopefully not as much discrepancy, but there's definitely more opportunities to mess up the farther you go on the run.
Yeah, later on in the run, there's some very long sections where you don't really get any free heals, as well as some difficult boss fights where runners are likely to run into issues.
Yep. And if you haven't heard of it or haven't seen any of the tournament matches before, this is the all skills. The format of the tournament is the all skills race, in which the runners get all spells, all spell upgrades, all movement abilities, plus ismas, and all nail arts before beating the game. It adds a little bit of a longer race than 90%, and adds a pretty interesting flair to the game. Flair to the run, sorry.
Yeah, most notably, all skills compared to the any percent route is very focused on movement. A lot of the time will be gained and lost on small movement differences between the runners.
Mm-hmm.
Because you go across a lot more of the map trying to pick everything up than you do in any percent.
Yeah, and a lot of the bosses are made a lot more trivial than at any percent because we have some upgraded spell abilities. Shade Soul, D-Dark, Abyss Shriek, all shred through bosses, as you're going to see. But for now, we have nothing, and we're going to get the first upgrade of the game, Fireball. The Fireball. Yep, both runners looking relatively close, within a couple seconds of each other. Nothing too dramatic in this early game. Cerpin has a pretty consistent early game. Been running this game for a decent amount of time. And hopefully we'll see a pretty good VS split out of her.
Yeah. The runners are coming up on False Night here, which, if you've only played the game casually, you might not have noticed that there is actually a shortcut Dev intended to get out of the False Night boss fight that we will use here after the first wave of attacks from him.
Yeah, Dev intended shortcuts, Dev not intended shortcuts. We don't discriminate. We go for all types of shortcuts. So this is the third race, if I'm not mistaken. This is the third race today. And are there any more today? I'm not sure.
I will find out.
There are 2 more today. So those should be pretty interesting, pretty fun. Make sure to check them out after this. Yeah, it's looking like Cerpin's a little ahead coming into VS. And yeah, 328 entering.
Yeah, so it looks like Cerpin will get like a 336, 337 VS, which is a really solid time for a tournament.
Absolutely. Yeah, so after we get this, we're going to be trapped in the Ancestral Mound, and we're going to have to use the VS, or Vengeful Spirit, to get make our way out. Yeah, I'm excited to see. There's a lot of cool movement in this run. And so it's a fun run to watch because there's a lot of advanced movement tech that we see out of the runners that you don't really get in some other runs.
Yeah, for sure.
So now we have the first harbinger of RNG of the run, the Boulder, and Cerpin gets some pretty nice RNG first spit. That's a 50% chance of happening, although it sometimes can feel like a lot less.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like yeah, it seems like the Boulder will either spit once or a bunch of times. And when it starts going, it feels like it's a lot less than 50% chance.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the tournament record for most Boulder spits is 11, which is that's just insanely unlucky. And that's Hollow Knight. There's a lot of luck involved in this game. We try to take away the luck aspect at certain times, but sometimes there's really nothing you can do to avoid the RNG.
Yeah. Fortunately, one of my personal things that I like about Hollow Knight as a speed game, though, is that the RNG isn't usually make or break for runs, with a couple exceptions. And you can make up for it with good gameplay, usually.
Yeah, most of the time. There's not much you can do about Boulder Spit sometimes, though. So, Cerpin, as you saw, attempted, and we're going to see Tipu do it here. That's the first of 3 fireball skips that you're going to see. Probably sounds like a broken record at this point talking about fireball skips, but they are a pretty fun and interesting trick that we do like to talk about because it seems pretty unintuitive on a first look, but it's smart. Who would have thought to use the knockback from fireballs to get to a ledge that you're only supposed to be able to get to with dash?
Yeah, obviously not Team Cherry.
Or did they?
Who knows?
Cerpin missing the second one. Luckily, we have a backup. Acid Papas are not intentional. Pretty cleanly hits the squid's backup. Tipu's going to try the 1 fireball. The 1 fireball right there is a 2-frame perfect trick. I think I've gotten it once ever.
Yeah, I've never managed a 1 fireball. Thankfully, though, there is that squid there that the runners can also use to skip to this area in the case that they run out of soul for fireballs.
Yep, Tipu grabbing a little bit of extra soul to hit this fireball. And if he manages this, then they will be around even. Yes, good execution, and that brings back the time a little bit.
Yeah, especially with that heal from Cerpin, it looks like they'll be just about synced up going through this transition.
Ooh, we love to sync.
9 milliseconds apart.
Now, if we can have that for the whole race, please. I'll take one. I wonder what has been the most synced up race so far.
I don't know. Depends at what time you look, probably. We've had some really close races in this tournament, especially for these early rounds, which has been nice to see.
Yeah.
Not too many blowouts.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, this race, their PBs are less close to each other than other races you've seen, but there's still some variance than things that can happen, especially at this level. Oh, we saw a race this morning. The monster race was incredibly close. Tipu taking the alternate route, saying hi to Zote, maybe a little any percent muscle memory. But yeah, so both runners are going to be grabbing the Moss Knights here, which give a little bit more geo and take a little bit longer.
Notably, they both get good RNG on the Moss Knights. That second Moss Knight on the right can spawn further closer. And if he spawns farther away, you kind of have to just jump down and wait for him to walk over while dodging the first one.
Tipu giving a little Monka-S moment. 1 HP, Hornet. I have confidence, though. Takes the time to heal. Probably smart. Especially in a race no reset setting.
Yeah, for sure. Hornet can have some really strange, unpredictable movement at times, too. So one mask Hornet can be very scary, especially when you can't reset.
Absolutely. And obviously the most difficult of all the Hornet movement is the straight walk guard. Taking a second. Get on back to 2 HP, probably smart.
Cerpin comes dangerously close to soft walking Hornet. You see her get caught on that gate during the death animation. There's a small chance, like if she's in perfect position, that she'll actually get stuck, knocked over on the gate, and Cerpin would have had to re-go all the way through green path.
Oh, the double on Hornet. You do like to see doubles. So you're going to see a lot of double hits from fireballs. It's a perfect introduction to the concept of double hitting. Basically, you double the damage for absolutely free. And there's going to be a lot of instances, especially when we have Shade Soul and what am I thinking? The Charm. I'm blanking on it right now.
Shaman Stone?
Yeah, Shaman Stone. Once we have Shade Soul and Shaman Stone, we're going to be trying to double hit the bosses as much as possible. I don't know why I blanked on Shaman Stone.
It happens.
It's like the 8th thing in this game with the apostrophe, with the shortening of SS.
Yes. Team Cherry didn't help that by making their next game also SS.
Really like that acronym for some reason. But and Tipu are going to be coming into the Mantis Claw split, where we're going to be getting our wall jump ability. These 3 splits are pretty consistent across all runs. There's some deviance in some other runs based on whether you kill the False Knight or not. But these 3 items, the Fireball, the Dash, and the Mantis Claw, are pretty necessary for everything in the game. So it's good to grab them first.
Yeah, for sure. The claw is actually required to complete the game, I believe, at this point. We haven't found a way to make it around the map without it quite yet. But Dash, while not needed, there is a low percent category that does not get it. Just makes you way faster and is definitely worth getting even outside of all skills.
Yeah, and the Fireball also isn't necessary. Alright, so we're going to be seeing a pretty difficult trick here. It's called E-Pogo, because you're pogoing off the explosion. Cerpin gets its second try. This trick could definitely be a lot tougher for experienced runners, but Cerpin isn't too happy that she missed it, but she got a second try, which is good.
Yeah, it's really easy, especially with tournament nerves, to mess up ePogo because it is just a pretty like timing precise trick.
Ooh, that Mantis Pogo recovery was nice.
Yeah, very clean from Cerpin.
And Tipu gets it first try, closing the gap a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see when they quit out here how far they are apart. It's looking like it'll be about 10 seconds.
Yep, and Tipu getting double dash. 41 quit out. Maybe a little more than 10 seconds.
Yeah, looks like it. Maybe 20.
Closer to 50, yeah. 15, 18. There's quite a difference already. Cerpin's experience is showing here. Good early game.
Yeah, but we have had a solid early game from both runners, even though Cerpin has taken the lead. So they've definitely both shown that they are capable of competing in this race. So it'll be interesting to see if Tipu can make a comeback or if Cerpin will be able to run away with it.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw a couple inventory drops that weren't really worth it into transitions from Tipu. Just a mental note. Might be an indicator that that he's trying to go a little fast, which is always good, but sometimes if you're trying to go too fast, you end up going slower instead. Just small things like that that you're trying to hyper optimize. That may not save time, but you do regardless. Like this.
Yeah, especially when you're in a race setting and if you're watching the stream live and you know you're behind, then you start to kind of feel like you need to make time back, and you can make some interesting decisions to go for things you don't normally do.
Yep. Cerpin doing a slash on the Gruz clan. I've never seen that before.
Me neither, but it seemed to work out pretty well for her.
Yeah. So now we're going to see both runners do something called a shade skip, in which you die on purpose. You die on purpose, and then you use the shade that you leave in the afterlife to pogo on and get to the blue lake, the next area that we're going to be going to.
Yeah, and the dev intended way of getting up to the shortcut would be with claw and wings, which would already require right side access. But because of the shade skip, we can kind of break the progression of the game pretty aggressively.
You can get there. You can get there relatively easy with claw and C dash as well. Just C dashing off the right side of the Grozmother arena.
Yeah, true.
Yep. So we don't see any fireballs from Cerpin. The shade can give bad RNG and fireball. And Tipu doing a little bit of a late fireball to get one extra Geo. We'll see if that's worth it. Speaking of Geo, the early game in this category, the main real point of this early game is to get as much Geo as we can. Ooh, missing the shade skip. But the main point of this... Ooh!
Oh, no.
Yeah. He's gonna have to reset his shade because he accidentally killed it. Yeah, the health does not reset. Yeah, but as we were talking about, the name of this early game is to get as much Geo as you can to buy Dash Slash from one of the Nail Masters named Oro. And this is to do the shades, the lever skips that we were talking about. So we're gonna see Tipu go for this again. A little bit of bad RNG with the fireball. And gets it cleanly the second time.
Yeah, notably Dash Slash is 800 Geo, so the runners will need to get that as quickly as possible and without selling relics to Lem. Notably, this category does not visit Lem, so all the Geo is going to be obtained from enemies and rocks.
Yep.
We'll use Gorgeous Husk to do that right here. And that'll get Cerpin most of the way to the 800 she needs.
Ooh, trying for that. That's a nice pogo that Cerpin just attempted. Little micro optimization right there. You can pogo that enemy and get onto that platform early.
Yeah, there's a lot of really neat micro optimizations in a lot of these rooms that result in some really cool movement. Unfortunately, Cerpin just missed it, but has now made her way to Gorgeous Husk and is doing a decent job of cleaning her up.
Yep, so we're going to get all the geo here and quit out. Cerpin missed a little bit of the geo, but I actually don't know her geo count.
It looks like she'll be okay. I think she's a bit low, but she can make it up with 2 rows of hoppers just fine.
Yeah, 729.
Oh,
That's
729 is a lot.
Yeah, I think she got that extra row right before it. So Cerpin's perfectly fine on geo, and is going to be making her way to dash slash upcoming. So yeah, Cerpin looks to be quite a bit ahead already, but it just showcases this skill that Cerpin is expected of as someone that is pretty respected in the community. And Tipu, not a bad pace either. Might be close to PB. But I can't check that, sadly, because Tipu doesn't have a PB uploaded to speedrun.com, so I can't see the PB. But it's certainly not an awful pace. No deaths so far, which is nice. Looks like,
yeah.
Yep.
The missed shade skip definitely cost Tipu a lot.
Yeah. You can't beat yourself over that, especially so early into a race, though, where you have to try not to.
Yeah, for sure.
I know if I did it, I'd be incredibly frustrated with myself, but...
Oh yeah, I would have been super tilted.
But to be fair, even top runners are missing shade skip in this tournament, so we never really know.
Exactly.
So Cerpin picking up dash slash. Now she's going to be making her way to Soul Sanctum, every speedrunner's favorite area of the game, where there's a lot of RNG and a lot of things that can go wrong at every corner. Thankfully, we can skip most of it and make a lot of it easier by we're going to pick up Shade Soul on the way, which is a fireball upgrade that is going to let us beat bosses a lot easier using the dash slash. Yeah, the dash slash is going to let us do a couple lever skips we're going to see upcoming, which will be pretty interesting. So, and look, 24 Geo is perfectly fine here for the next thing you have to buy, which is King Station. Since Sanctum gives a lot of Geo, we should be fine here.
Yeah, notably, geo routing in all skills is really only relevant until we buy King Station. After that, geo's pretty safe for the rest of the run, and you don't really have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to see Cerpin do a dark room right here, hopefully. Seems to be just as I said, seems to be a little lost. Found her way through the transition and making our way to Sanctum.
Yeah, compared to every other dark room in the run, that one's a little bit different because it's not supposed to be a dark room. It just doesn't turn on the lights because of the lever skip. And it can be very difficult to navigate that since you don't have that little glow around the night if you get lost.
Yep. So we're going to see two more sections of dark rooms in the run. One near Crystal Peaks, which is the area after this, and one in Deep Nest near the end of the run. Cerpin getting a double there. That's good RNG. We'd like to see it.
Yeah. And we're seeing Tipu make it through City towards Sanctum using the bottom route. Unlike Cerpin, the bottom route through City saves, I think it's like about half a second over the top one, but you do notably get less soul, so it's kind of a trade-off.
Yeah, the trick you just saw Cerpin do with the door, if you were paying extra close attention, is a little bit of wall cling storage, which you can dash through the door as it's opening and retain your dash momentum for a little bit. Little extra trick we use to go pretty fast. And picks up the Shade Soul, uses the dash slash ability to skip that boss fight right there, and the key required completely, which will make this Sanctum a lot easier. We're also seeing...
Tipu is being bullied by these Husk sentries over here. They're really getting in his way. But they managed to make it through.
Alexa take the bench, which is probably a good move. Being on 2 high HP entering Sanctum is not a very comfy feeling.
Yeah, especially in a race setting. I'm sure they don't want to take a death here.
Yeah.
And 2 HP, if this Soul Twister that was just near Cerpin decides to be unfriendly, can kind of be unavoidable death.
Yeah. Could get very mean very quickly. So this boss fight coming up, we're gonna see some cool tech. There's a lot of strategies for it, but most of them involved using as much of your Shade Soul as possible to try to hit double hits, which I already talked about. And yeah, this is what I usually talk about, double hits. But she's also going to be getting soul from some of these containers, which you'll see her soul refill. It's a nice 1-2-2-1 exclusive. Doesn't look like to be getting many double hits, but finishes the fight up pretty well.
Yeah, definitely a decently quick Soul Master kill.
Spicy, you think we're going to see pogo strats on the second phase?
Oh boy, I hope so. The pogo strats to quick finish Soul Master second phase can be kind of tight and involve a little bit of damage tanking, but are very interesting to watch.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend finding a video source of the pogo strats for the second phase of this fight. Quite a sight to behold. And they seem to be about 1 Sanctum apart. I know a lot of comms in this tournament like to use the metrics like that, but Tipu entering Sanctum as Cerpin is starting to leave right now. A little bit of a race to make up for Tipu, but deaths aren't unseen in this tournament as much as we don't like to see them. It could make the race a lot closer.
Yeah, especially in the segment coming up, runners can run into some issue because they will not get to heal for the entire Sea Peak segment, Crystallized Mound segment, and Dream Nail. So they won't. Any damage they take is going to be very detrimental going forward.
Yeah, Tipu getting some bad RNG right here, which we don't like to see. Yeah,
it's a good thing they took that bench.
Yeah, Cerpin upcoming is going to be taking a bench, and then after that, all health taken is very unfortunate. Ooh,
Tipu takes an unfortunate death there.
Luckily, they have that bench, so they're not losing that much time. A lot less than if they wouldn't have taken that bench. Yeah. Sanctum can be very mean sometimes, and a lot of the time it's not even at the fault of the runner. Just RNG can just kind of screw you.
Yeah, it can be especially demoralizing for less experienced runners when you're not as familiar with how to handle each individual Soul Twister RNG situation, because there's a lot of different ones. Yeah.
I remember especially just getting into this category, if the Soul Twister, I guarantee a lot of runners even now are, if the Soul Twister goes in front of you, you just kind of have to improvise, which is sometimes can be very, very difficult in a race setting. So Cerpin's going to be exiting the Dark Room, and is going to be grabbing this bench, and all health taken now is going to be very impactful for the next 6 to 7 minutes, is it?
Yeah, I believe so.
He was going to be taking a little bit of a shortcut. That's good. That's good game knowledge, knowing that's there.
Yeah, definitely. This is one of those shortcuts that they use in the 100% category for 1221, 106, because they don't need the geo from the Soul Warrior.
Getting terrible RNG here.
Yeah, it is looking very scary again
But
for Tipu.
killing those guys, oh my god, Tipu just scared me.
Heal, Tipu, heal.
Yeah, luckily they can skip this room up coming up. Also, not affectionately called Hell Room, because it's a very dangerous room with a lot of RNG that can go badly. However, this patch and this specific run skips it, which is nice.
Yes, it is. Something to note is that Tipu is very low on soul. They won't be able to give the quick kill on Soul Master a try since they have to break the soul jars.
Yeah, Valley in the chat commenting on how dangerous that double pogo against that guy was. I was clenching a little bit for it, but that was definitely a very, very difficult situation that Tipu got himself out of, which is very impressive to say the least.
Yeah, I know I've definitely taken damage in similar situations many times.
Yeah, opting to heal in the Soulmaster fight, probably for the best. Get to the kill. 2 HP, relatively comfortably. So Cerpin's going to be going top road here. They didn't have the Geo to buy the stag, so she's going to be making her way down here to the Crystal Peaks, briefly saying hi to Myla, which I don't have much hope for people killing Myla this race, but I can still hope. A man can hope.
Yeah, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on what side you're on, I think we saw most of our Myla killing in the first round, and I don't think we'll get any more for a while.
Yeah. Well, after the race. But,
of course.
Of course. Spicy, what's your perspective on killing Myla?
In my first race, I bowed to Myla, so I'm not a Myla killer.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind.
Judging by that reaction, I assume you are.
Yes. I'm a firm believer that Myla needs to pay for her crimes. Tipu making his way out of Sanctum right now. Killing all these follies and mistakes. No, I'm not joking. Those are actually the names of them. And Serpin's going to be making her way through Crystal Peaks.
We're running into a lot of trouble getting out of Sanctum, but managing to make it past, and we'll probably heal here.
Those guys spawning, I think, is FPS dependent, so if Tipu didn't cap his FPS, they can be very dangerous. For Cerpin, going through Crystal Peaks now, important thing to note is there's a lot of optional damage tanks you could do to get through these rooms faster. However, there's a lot of places where you can take damage and there's not really that good of opportunity to heal. She's doing 4 health here is, I'd say, only taking 1 intentional damage tank and no accidental ones. There is another optional damage tank upcoming. I'm interested to see if she'll take it or try for the no-hit strategy, which is a little slower and a little harder, but you don't actually have the damage tank, which is good. Looks like she is going to be going for it. And will she get through the cycles and do underplat? And she does! Woo!
Nice underplat.
The hardest trick in the game that saves the most time, underplat.
Of course, of course.
Tipu giving us a little bit more of a scare, but makes it to the bench alive, which is pretty fortunate, and it's good to see.
Yeah, thankfully for Tipu, they'll get a full heal at this mandatory bench here.
Yeah. Cerpin's going to be coming up on a couple rooms, one with crushers, and then it's going to be doing our second dark room, or our first real dark room. So these crushers can be a little bit of a problem if you're inexperienced with them, but Cerpin makes quick work. We have a grub here. I'm fully expecting for Cerpin to save this grub.
And she does. Thankfully, we are not monsters. We save grubs here.
Yeah. Cerpin with a very, very clean dark room. As I say, she gets hit, but very, very clean dark room. You'd really like to see some good only dashes dark rooms.
Yeah, doing that dark room with only dashes takes a pretty decent bit of practice, and there's a lot of places you can go wrong if you make mistakes. There is notably some safer strats for the dark room that use C-dash, so it'll be interesting to see what Tipu decides to use here.
Cerpin on 3 health here, but seems to make it through pretty quickly. There's an intentional damage tank that we're gonna see using dash slash, where you dash slash and you face ban into the spikes, getting complete control a lot earlier than you would normally do, because the descending dark animation is actually really, really long.
Yeah, you see Cerpin managed to get out of the room before the descending dark display even finished popping up onto her. So that, despite taking a bit longer to set up than just breaking the crystal, still saves a lot of it.
Absolutely. And now there's no more damage for Cerpin to take, even if she wanted to, for the rest until she quits out eventually back to a bench and regains for full health. Tipu also making his way into Crystal Peaks, electing to heal. I think we've seen a lot of good safer strats, tournament ready strats from Tipu, which is good to see.
Yeah, and in a race setting, it's always a good idea to make sure you're being as safe as possible, because it's not a normal run. You can't just reset if you die. So you got to take that 1-2 seconds of time loss to make sure you don't lose 40.
Yeah. And now we're going to see a cool C-dash off the top of this, followed by hopefully an underplat. Ooh, Tipu taking a little bit of damage here. You really don't want to take damage in this split.
Yeah, 3 masks at this point is definitely very scary. We also saw a nice underplat from Cerpin in the dream section. Love to see it. Cerpin is 2 for 2 on underplats. There's one more notable one in this run, but not many people will go for it in Queen's Gardens.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one by before Great Slash, but no. Tipu is going left here. This isn't a typical route, but decides to go back. Maybe a little confused. Maybe looking for a soul at some points. I know I'd definitely be looking for soul to heal. Ooh, makes very clean work of that, not taking damage. Very impressive.
Yeah, with two mass, I was very risky. That right side can get you damaged really easily by that crystal beetle that Tipu just narrowly avoided.
Yep. We see Cerpin coming at Watcher Knights. Fight is a lot easier than the any% sister, but it still is quite a I don't want to say difficult, but there are some damage tanks that you can do in this fight to make it faster that do make it more difficult. But as we're going to see, it's a lot easier than the any% fight, as we see D-Dark just destroys the Watcher Knights.
Yeah, and Cerpin is notably getting some really good RNG here.
Tipu taking some damage, electing to failing the underplat, Homothety, Fireball, Dash Slash, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be getting some soul here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Tipu. And I also, unfortunately, commentators curse Cerpin, and her last set of Watcher Knights was very bad RNG. But she made good work of them.
Yep. So Tipu's going to be taking these platforms a little safer this time. Still electing to go for the dash slash, which you do like to see. Ooh, gets the damage list. I think Tipu's ahead of the cycle. Yeah. Which is nice. Underplat. Hey, 1 for 1 from Tipu. Cerpin's going to be grabbing our first streamer after beating Watch Art Knights. Oh, never mind. Falling out of dream sequence. I think we've all done it. And you really hate to see it. But doesn't lose too much time. Cerpin's going to be making her way back into the dreamer cutscene. Not falling off, hopefully, this time. Pogoing the dreamer. And taking the dreamer for all she's worth. I'm going to be doing that to 2 more dreamers this run. As in most runs, you need to get all 3 dreamers to be able to open the Black Egg Temple. There's some runs that don't require them, but these do.
Yeah, notably, you can also get an ending through getting the end of Pantheon 5. But that's only used in 112% and God Home ending, which is a very cursed category.
Well, yeah, 112% I think gets the dreamers anyways, because they are percents.
Oh, true.
So God Home ending is the only category that doesn't get the dreamers. Tipu failing Dark Room once. Gonna be resetting the room. Definitely, that's not even a smart strat. It's almost mandatory to reset the room if you fail the Dark Room.
Yeah, once those hunters get out of position, it can become very sketch to continue on. So it's always a good idea to reload the room.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna be getting a little bit more soul. Ooh, taking damage to that crystal hunter is not something that you want to happen. This room right here is at the end of a long gauntlet. Tipu knows there's a bench right under him that he could go to. Yeah, dying here would lose a lot of time for Tipu.
It would. And as Tipu goes through that, we'll see Cerpin take some attempts at the Isma's skips here. Struggling a little bit with Spike Tunnel.
Yeah, definitely a hard trick. You have to pogo and dash almost at the same time to not hit the top of those spikes. Ooh, 1 HP.
And
ooh, 1 HP makes it through. That is nice.
well, Cerpin and Tipu make it through their respective challenges at 1 HP here.
There's a little spot to gain extra soul to heal. Let's see, yeah, Cerpin does know about it. You can dream nail this rancid egg sack. I think it's called something, I forget.
Blurg sack, I think. I don't know many enemy names in this game, but I do know that one.
Obviously the blur sack.
Yeah,
So
it's most
Cerpin-
iconic.
Cerpin making the second acid skip, and there's going to be a third one here. We're going to see setup lists and Tipu at the same time face planting into spikes. Yeah, so setup lists, we're going to be seeing a trick that we call by many names, trans dash, one of them, dash cancel, another. Oh, Cerpin stream is paused. Quick pause. Oh my god. That was... No!
Cerpin!
Oh my god. Oh, I totally thought Cerpin was grabbing that.
Oh god, yeah.
We had the same reaction. Yeah. Both of us thought that Cerpin was grabbing that and going to be damage tanking a little bit. Or damage tanking and dying with 1 HP. That would have been a very sad moment.
It would have been. But manages to avoid doing that and takes the heal.
I need a breather. That was definitely scary. So Cerpin's going to be making her way with 2 HP over this bridge. Another thing in this game that's heavily RNG is where these husks spawn. They can give you really good spawns, really bad spawns, and anything in between. So Cerpin doesn't get too bad of a pattern. That I think she was actually safe, if I
Yeah, it looked like it moved out of the way at the last second, but you know, especially at 2 health in a tournament, it's definitely a safe strategy to just cancel that C dash and not risk taking that hit.
Tipu also did early dash there, which I want to mention, which is pretty swag. Saves like 0.2 or 0.1 and and can lose you a ton of time. So Cerpin's gonna be grabbing this bench at the same time Tipu's grabbing Dream now. Yeah, they look about 1 or 2 splits apart. A couple minutes. Definitely, Cerpin definitely showing the skill she has shown in this category so far. Maybe Cerpin does have a lower PB than what's on the leaderboard. Oh, so I can't forget, Tipu did also hit underplat.
Yes, we always have to respect the underplats.
Yeah, these rooms coming up for Cerpin, these Molochs are very, very RNG based. We've only seen one runner make it through all of them without being hit at all. Hopefully another, and I have just perfectly commentators cursed it. I'm good at this.
Yes.
Cerpin, hopefully we'll be healing. Yep, there we go. Definitely give you something scary with the healing.
Yeah, so we fight the broken vessel immediately after this room here, so if you take a lot of damage, it can definitely be a good idea to heal.
Yep. We see Cerpin go for the ooh. Nice. The name of the trick's not the ooh, I just reacted to forgetting it. Not an easy trick. And it's good to see her getting it. Tipu's going to be coming into Watcher Knights at 3 HP, which is a little scary. Probably will heal before the fight starts, which is the smart thing to do. And Cerpin's going to be beating up the long-forgotten brother of the family. Just like the family gatherings all over again.
Yes.
I feel like all family reunions are not very happy in Hollow Knight. We got Hornet, which you fight. You have Hornet 2, which you fight. You have Lostkin, which you fight. And you have the Hollow Knight, which you kill. So, no, it's not a very cheery game. Especially
Definitely a very dysfunctional family.
Yeah, I think if Hollow Knight taught us anything, it's dysfunctional families are fairly common. Cerpin getting the double jump or Mothwing Cloak. Did I just say Mothwing Cloak? No, it's not Mothwing Cloak.
You did just say Mothwing Cloak.
I can't speak today. The double jump ability. And Tipu's going to be finishing up the Watcher Knights, hopefully. Getting some Descending Darks on. So for the rest of the race, the name of the game is as many Descending Darks and Shade Soul doubles as you possibly can. And because they do a lot more damage than your Nail. Nail does 5 in reference, and both attacks do somewhere around 80 to 90, which is a lot of Nail hits in comparison. Yeah, mostly our Nail is just meant for getting Soul as fast as you can. Does a little bit of damage, but not really enough to be incredibly notable.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see that contrast between the majority of speedruns that use spells for their damage compared to how most people play the game casually, where they only really use Soul to heal.
Yeah, I definitely play that way casually.
Yeah. And the Nail does get to the point when it's upgraded that it can compete with spells, and I believe actually has the highest DPS possible with Strength. But it takes so long to get that we don't upgrade our Nail in really any speed runs other than the 100% ones.
Yeah. It's really not worth it in any regard in speedruns to get Nail, because you have to... At first, it's very expensive, and it's also Palor usually pretty far away. And in this category, anyways, you have to get all the spells to complete the category. So Cerpin's going to be going on inarguably the hardest boss fight of the speedrun, Hornet 2, having a little bit of Soul. beforehand, and we'll hopefully be taking the safety bench. Yes.
We have a question in the chat. Does Tipu have a PB that's not on the leaderboard? I believe the answer to that is yes, and it is a 102 PB, if I'm correct.
Yes, a 102.44 Tipu has. Which is a very respectable time. This category, a lot of movement, very difficult, especially not to die. There's a lot of places where it's very, very easy to die or take a lot of damage. And this Hornet 2 fight is one of them. I know very well I died to Hornet 2 in my race. So hopefully Cerpin can do better.
Yeah, even for really experienced runners, in a race setting with pressure, it's really easy to get into danger with Hornet here.
Yeah. We're seeing some good D-darts out of Cerpin.
We're seeing a really clean fight from Cerpin, playing fairly aggressively, even with a lot of hops from Hornet.
Yeah, a lot of hops, a lot of parries. Cerpin's got some bad RNG this fight, but is making do anyways. Ooh. Her parrying that Shade Soul is not very fun to see.
Yeah, Hornet deciding to parry your spells can be very detrimental, especially if you're right up against her as you're doing the Shade Soul, in which case you'll also get hit, not only lose your damage.
Yeah. So, Cerpin making quick work of Hornet 2. Very, very good fight out of her. And is going to be grabbing the King's Brand. The King's Brand lets you access the Abyss. It's not technically a skill, but we need it to get any other. We need it to get other skills, so we need it anyways.
Yeah, and Tipu is now leaving Isma's. Seemed to have a little bit less trouble with the skips than Cerpin did. So we'll pick up some time there, but it definitely isn't looking like it'll be enough to bring them back into the race at this point.
Yeah, gets a lot worse RNG on the husks there too. Being at 1 HP here, but there is a bench right upcoming, so it's not the end of the world being at 1 HP here. Yep, Tipu making his way through this area, and Cerpin's going to be making her way away from Kingdom's Edge and back the main area of the game. Yeah, this race seems, I don't want to count it out too quickly, but it looks like Cerpin has enough of a lead that even with a death or two, it would still be unrecoverable from Tipu. But you never know.
Yeah, you never do know. So Cerpin here will be making her way to pick up Cyclone Slash, which is probably one of the more stranded skills in the run. We kind of have to make our way all the way up into Howling Cliffs for nothing other than Cyclone here.
Yeah.
It's just an unfortunate result of having to get all the nail arts. We see a similar thing with getting Great Slash and Green Path, where it's just really out of the way, but we got to get it.
Yep. Yeah, additionally, it's important to note that, like, Cyclone Slash, there's not really much it really does for the runners. Like, Dash Slash we get early because it helps us go through a lot more gates, which is really, really nice. But Cyclone Slash, it helps with some drops you're going to see. The more experienced runners will use it to drop faster and horizontally in some spaces, especially in this patch. But most of the time, it's more efficient to just inventory drop. Tipu also got that nice wall jump right there. And there's not enough left to open the boss. But he noticed pretty quickly.
Yeah, not having Soul might make this fight get a little out of hand for Tipu. Hopefully not. But runners tend to only really practice with that opening with the fireballs. So hopefully Tipu knows how to handle this.
Yep, looks pretty good so far. Is that a triple?
It might have been.
So you want that headbang attack to try to give you as many, because it lets you get descending darks, which do a lot of damage for free. That's basically what you're looking for there.
Yeah, we saw a very clean broken vessel from Tipu, considering he went in with 0 soul.
Yes. Yeah, Cerpin's going to be making her way to Umu. And this is a fight that make or break for a lot of runs. Might not make or break this, or likely won't make or break this, but a 1 cycle would still be good to see. So you see Umu comes in cycles. You can only do damage every 18 seconds or so, and hopefully we'll see Cerpin kill Umu in one of those cycles. Some runs you can only do it in 2 best, in this one you could do it in 1 best.
Yeah, and the 1 cycle for Umu is notably kind of precise. You need to take fairly perfect positioning of Umu to get them in the right position to be shade sold out of bounds where they can get multiple double hits and do exactly enough damage for a 1 cycle.
Yep. So health doesn't matter too much. It's still comfy to be on high health, but even if Cerpin was on low health, I really wouldn't be too concerned. Full soul here is nice though. Not having to dream nail, not having to worry about dream nailing Umu is very nice. Yeah, that 1 dream nail in the beginning's pretty free.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see Cerpin luring Umu to the right side here. We're gonna try to position her right on a right platform so we can shade soul Umu all the way out of bounds. And that looks like a clean 1 cycle from Cerpin. You love to see it. So, at the same time, Tipu's going to be making his way all the way to Hornet 2 in the godforsaken realm of Kingdom's Edge. Hope to see a good fight from him. Definitely a very difficult boss fight, as we saw from you might not have actually saw from Cerpin since she made such quick work of her.
Yeah, but Hornet 2 is definitely one of the biggest barriers to entry for all skills. I know a lot of people struggle with Hornet 2 a lot casually. I did myself, and I'm sure most of the runners in the community have. So to be able to do it as quick as possible is definitely a tough thing to pick up.
Yeah, Tipu electing not to take that safety bench. I feel like when you're behind, you have to take a couple extra risks. And in combination with hoping your opponent messes up to try to make back up some time.
Yeah, at this point, Tipu would need a really unfortunate death from Cerpin to even have a shot. Probably the most likely scenario where Tipu manages to make it back into the race is if Cerpin dies at the very end of like Dark Deepness.
Yeah, that's
coming up in a few minutes.
Cerpin doing left side climb, a couple damage tanks. Doesn't matter much. There's a mandatory bench here. Tipu getting some good descending darks in, trying to keep Hornet in the corner. Something I've noticed with Hornet is a lot of less experienced runners try to keep Hornet in the corner as much as possible. And then more experienced runners like for her to be out in the middle to get shade soul doubles. It's an interesting thing I noticed. Although having Hornet in the corner is pretty nice, especially when she staggers there. Some good doubles out of Tipu.
Yeah, as you're learning this fight, like as a newer all skills runner, there's definitely a lot of pro and con of like, do I try to go as fast as possible or do I try to play as safe as I can? And you got to kind of balance that to like how comfortable you feel with the fight.
Yeah, for newer runners in chat, I would always recommend at least trying some of the faster strats, because killing her faster means that you don't have to worry about dying for as much time, which is kind of nice. So you can lose health and still finish the fight if you're going fast enough. And Cerpin making her way to
agree.
Cerpin making her way to Great Slash. This is one of the more movement heavy splits. I really enjoy this split. I know a lot of runners really enjoy this split. There's an optional underplat, it loses some time, but you never know for the swag. If Cerpin will go for it. No, of course, yeah. Tipu finishing off Hornet fight very cleanly. Getting out of there, getting out of Kingdom's Edge. And yeah, Cerpin is going. Making quick work of this little movement arena type thing and getting to Grey Slash.
Yeah, makes it through the Durandu room really clean. And hopefully remembered to cancel her C-dash. It sounded like it. Yeah. Team Cherry put a little set of troll spikes there, where if you C-dash through that transition, you'll go straight into the spikes and take damage.
Yeah, I'm seeing from chat Serpin's only 20 seconds behind her PB, which is very exciting. There's definitely a lot of time to save in this late game for all runners. I don't know how good her late game is in her PB, but there's usually decent time to save.
Yeah, especially in the Hollow Knight fight, you can pretty much always have a faster Hollow Knight fight.
That's true. As we just saw with the new world record for any percent last night. Back to all skills, though. Back to all skills. Won't let myself get too off topic. Serpin's going to be making her way to this Power split. Health is very important in this split. There's much like the Crystal Heart split, there's a lot of places where death is incredibly easy to come by, or getting hit is incredibly easy to come by.
Yeah, before making her way into QGA, Cerpin will take a short pit stop at this Squid Arena here, where it is definitely possible to take some unwanted damage here, and that will not help in the future. If she gets everything right, though, this room will look really clean.
Yeah.
But it can get out of hand quickly.
Ooh, haven't seen that dash slash strat there.
No.
Good recovery with that Descending Dark. And finishes off the Aspen Arena relatively cleanly.
I'd assume we'll see a heal here, and yeah, we will.
Yeah, likely another after the acquiring of the Howling Wraiths as well, because you get full soul when you get any spell, which is very nice. Any first level spell, at least. So we're going to see an intentional damage warp coming up from Cerpin, which is why health matters a lot. Well, one of the reasons why health matters a lot. Another reason is also just not dying.
Of course.
Using dash slash more. Very clean movement through this room.
Yeah, though, so Cerpin is effectively at 3 health here, because in a short moment, she'll have to take that damage warp.
There's an arena here coming up before the damage warp that is pretty difficult, 90%, but in this category, in this patch, it's pretty easy because one Shade Soul just annihilates any of the Petras. So we'll see an extra hit there, which is good to gather some soul and make short work. So no third underplat. Cerpin's going to take the safe and by far smart move there and get to this place, get to the end of Queen's Gardens on 3 health.
Yeah, the Thorn Warp underplat is probably the hardest of the 3 of them.
Yeah.
So it's understandable not to see her go for that on such a good pace run.
Seeing great movement through this long room. Gathering a lot of soul. Yeah, that long room is definitely one of the places where you can see good movement. Tipu as well, getting this bench. Definitely Umu on 2 HP can be a little scary. Even though I just said it's not that scary. It can be. Especially on this patch where it's a little harder to not take damage. Uh-oh.
Looks like Tipu had some any percent muscle memory there. Went all the way to the end of the right side room going to Umu and C-dash across. Which we notably do not have to do in this category because we have Ismas.
Yeah, Cerpin tackling these dark rooms very, very quickly. It's like she's not only trying to race her best, but also chasing the PB.
Yeah, very clean dark rooms from Cerpin there.
Looks looks like Tipu gets the 1 cycle as well. Very, very good to see.
Yeah, it's pretty uncommon to see runners with like PBs in the hour range get the 1 cycle. So that's mad props to Tipu right there.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be seeing more from Tipu for the rest of the race. He already has 1 win, but and it's not looking great here. But hopefully we'll see good things. With tech like that, being able to hit 1 cycles at a 1xx pace or 1xx or 102xx PB, we should be seeing good things in the future if he can just clean up his movement in the early game.
Yeah, for sure. We see, unfortunately, from Cerpin, she falls in the Dreamer cutscene.
That's number 2 from Cerpin.
And on like Dream platforms, that'll take you all the way out of it. So that's some unfortunate time. I'm sure on as good a pace as she is, she's kicking herself over that.
Yeah. Definitely has to be a little bit upset missing two of the 3. At least she's 1 for 3 on Dreamers. The hardest boss of the game.
Yeah, I remember when I first played the game, I thought the Dreamers were going to be like crazy difficult bosses, and they just weren't bosses at all.
Yeah. Looks like Tipu knows some good movement in these rooms. He did a cool new diagonal double jump strat in the previous room, and did left side climb, which are all relatively new strats.
Yeah, Tipu's definitely been showing a lot of very good movement. It'll be interesting to see how low he can push it once he starts chaining some of it together with a bit less damage.
Yeah. I think as soon as Tipu works on consistency, he's definitely going to be a runner to be feared in this tournament, hopefully in the later rounds. Cerpin going to be making our way into the Abyss. There are some enemies in the Abyss that do 2 damage. The siblings, them being the siblings, as we were talking about the dysfunctional family, which is Hollow Knight, even more dysfunctional families. Siblings that do double damage to you. Even better.
Yes, they break your bones and your heart.
I think that's just a good slogan for the game. Yep, and this drop is fairly easy. Very consistent setups. The climb, a little less so, but that's always an exciting part of the run coming up in a couple minutes from Cerpin. Ooh, Tipu. Case blinding into some spikes. Forgetting to cancel his C-dash. You do not like to see it.
No, you do not. Cerpin only has 3 health going into the sibling climb here, so hopefully she's okay. She should be, but that's only 2 hits from them. It is a little bit risky.
Alright, looks like got through it pretty cleanly. There's not really that much places you could take damage for us this split, so...
Oh, misses the lever.
Let's see it. See how long it takes her to notice. I know. It's just immediately because there are siblings there. Yeah, that lever's just outside your walking range, so it's easy to just barely miss.
Yeah, and Cerpin will be safely brought back to 5 masks when she picks up Shade Soul and save quits in just a moment.
Yep, and Tipu's right behind, going to be quitting out here and trying his hand at Queen's Gardens and then Deep Nest himself. Yeah, if I'm going to be completely honest, this race looks pretty finished, unless Cerpin somehow chain dies to THK. It looks like Cerpin's going to be going home as the favorite, as the winner.
Yeah, unfortunately for Tipu, even if Cerpin does die to THK, it'll only be probably about a minute of time loss or so. So she would need to die multiple times for him to really have a chance.
Yeah, we don't really see that often, especially runners of Cerpin's caliber. We don't really see chain deaths too often. Ooh. Scared me right there.
Yeah.
But, for the entirety, as I said before, for the entirety of this race, Serpin's has been using the D Dark, the Descending Dark, and the Shade Soul. But now she's picking up the last of the 3 upgraded spells and the last skill that you collect in this game, which is the Abyss Shriek. And this is the actually most powerful of all 3. You never really get an opportunity to use it because it's all the way down here in the Abyss. But it is a very, very powerful spell. And, yeah, we're going to be seeing it used quite often on THK. And it's powerful, but it leaves the runner quite a bit vulnerable.
Yeah, there's definitely a trade-off for that power.
Yeah, very well balanced by Team Cherry.
Wouldn't go so far as to say anything in this game is particularly well balanced, but
Gotta give him a little credit. So now we're gonna be seeing Abyss Climb, a common thing done on its own as an IL. Seeing some good strats out of Cerpin. It's good to see. A lot of pogos on some very sketchy spikes. Yeah, very, very clean movement through this Abyss. Through this Abyss Climb, she's definitely experienced with the this category, or ILs technically categories, I guess. Mini categories.
Yeah, that was a really awesome climb. Pretty much took no safeties there.
Yeah. Yep, and now Cerpin's gonna be coming into the THK fight with 3 soul, which is pretty safe. Unless is there more place to get soul? I genuinely forget.
Not really, unless you decide not to C-dash in Crossroads, which wouldn't make much sense.
Yep, and Tipu at the same time is going to be doing this damage warp, thorn warp, and gets it first try, which you do like to see. A lot of like the harder tech Tipu's been getting very consistently. It's just the early game was really, really unfortunate.
As Chad is pointing out, Cerpin is notably at 56 Geo. Shout outs to 56. We get no helicopter night from Cerpin, but that is understandable, as it does lose time.
It's only 2 seconds. However, Cerpin's around a minute behind PB, or a minute. Yeah, no, not a minute behind PB. She looks behind PB by around 30 to 20 seconds. Doesn't look like she'll be PBing here, unless she somehow pulls out a comm sob THK.
That would be a good commentator's curse.
That'd be a very good commentator. That's a commentator's ghost I would love to give. Yeah, Cerpin somehow found out some random strat for THK.
Yeah, not looking like we're gonna get that Kamsab THK here, unfortunately.
Yeah, this fight is incredibly difficult because Shade Soul, you have to be right next to Hollow Knight. And he can just decide to dash into you, and then you take damage. If the THK decides you take damage, you just take damage. That's how it is sometimes. 1 HP, a little bit scary. Wish Shrieking with 1 HP is kind of scary, but we get some free heals here because he can't really do much damage while he's self-stabbing.
Yeah, and Tipu makes it through Dark Deep Nest as we're commentating Cerpin's THK fight. At 1 mask, scarily enough.
Cerpin also at 1 mask for the final phase of THK.
Wolf Runner's trying to give us lots of content for this race here.
And Cerpin finishing up. Big GG's for Cerpin. Finishing up at what will be a sub 56 within a minute of PB. I guarantee she's kicking herself out of for the Dreamer cutscenes, but a good race regardless. Oh wait, will it? Oh, no 50, no 55.
56.01.
Still within a minute of PB, which is good to see in a race setting. So after both runners finish, we're gonna be inviting them to interviews. But for now, we're gonna focus on Tipu, finish this out, hopefully get PB. So runner in chat voting. Cerpin says that we should patch out THK and Spike Tall. We should also just remove Dreamer cutscenes entirely.
No complaints from me there.
But Tipu's going to be exiting Hara Deep Nest, and he's going to be making his own way. He's going to be making his own way to get Shade Cloak and Abyss Shriek, getting a wall jump there. I didn't even know that was wall jumpable.
Yeah, looking at his time, I don't think he's on PB pace, but he should be pretty close to his PB. I'm not sure. Do you know, Aerto, how much time it usually takes to go get from Abyss to the end?
If I'm correct, it's around 5 minutes. So I do not think that Tipu's on PB pace. Just behind. It could be close. I guess we'll find out.
Yes.
The suspense is killing me.
Yeah, but being this close with all the safety heals and the Death and Sanctum, it definitely shows that Tipu has a lot of potential for some really solid times in the near future.
Absolutely. 102. Getting a little jank corner there to not get a hard fall was interesting. Do not think it was intentional, but it was definitely interesting. Ooh. Being on 4 HP here is pretty much the exact same as being on 3 HP. 2 hits from the siblings, and you're a goner. I look forward to seeing what Tipu has in store for us for the rest of the tournament. Yeah, likes to take a safer route for this. Probably smart. Being on. Ooh.
Oh no! And falls into his sibling.
That's very unfortunate.
Ooh.
One more hit from any sibling. Or yeah, Tipu's a sec. Ooh.
Oh no.
Just as we say it, Tipu taking a death all the way back at Hera, which is incredibly unfortunate.
Yeah, we had to start talking about PB pace, huh?
Yeah. What's Yeah, that death was very, very unfortunate, but hopefully, Tipu manages to bring it back. I definitely know what a death or two to sibling climb feels like in a race, but it definitely stings. But hopefully Tipu can finish out strong. Yeah, that climb is certainly nothing to scoff at. Runners make it look very, very easy sometimes, and it is very, very much not so.
Yeah, and it's really easy to get like on tilt with that, especially with how aggressive the double hit from the siblings can be. It really does get you at like a psychological level.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, those double hits. You feel them in your bones. The screen shaking all. Yeah, so Tipu definitely a little demoralized after a very unfortunate death to sibling climb, but hopefully we'll be making it back. Another thing with here is it's kind of difficult to find your shade. It's usually, I think it always comes right where you died. I think your shade is. Tipu finds it, no problem. Actually, not as hard as I remembered it when I was running. Maybe that's just because I'm the outside looking in now, but
yeah, when you're trying to run away from all those shades, it's definitely a bit more difficult to find.
Yeah, that second abyss climb was very clean, especially with having to grab your own shade, all things being considered. And he's gonna be making his way, grabbing the shade cloak, grabbing the abyss shriek, and finishing the game shortly. Yeah, the runners quit out here because this cutscene is incredibly long, and we just quit out, take the whatever 10 seconds it takes to quit out and load back in, and you're already sitting next to yourself.
Yeah, that quit out notably gives newer runners a bit of a scare the first couple times they do it when they see the teacher's archives bench as their save point.
Yeah, but if you quit out after you've pretty readily hit the water, you should be fine. I know there's some situations where if you quit out quick enough, you actually get the save, but you don't split. Like the live split doesn't split, which can be very, very, very scary. But Tipu's gonna be making his way across here. I think that was too high. Yep. Making his way across. Hopefully we'll see a good abyss climb out of him. We've seen some good techs already for playing much above his level for a majority of the race. Just some unfortunate deaths. Yeah, I've been very impressed with some of the advanced tech from Tipu throughout the race. It's just deaths are very, very unfortunate, and he got very unlucky with both sibling climb and archives. Oh, not archives. Yeah, he just got unlucky in general. Now we're gonna see Tipu picking up the abyss shriek, making his way out of here. Hopefully a good abyss climb.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see Tipu's abyss climb, considering the level of play that a lot of his movement's been at. It'll be interesting to see the strategies he goes for.
Yep. There's definitely a lot more safe strats than what Cerpin took. Cerpin took a very, very aggressive and very well done route. Yep. Tipu taking some more safe strats. Seems to know the route, though. As I say, that goes for one of the more aggressive strats. Ooh. Yeah, any damage tank in the abyss climb sends you back a lot further than even you would possibly think should be the case. Ooh, that is unfortunate.
Yeah, it really sucks to see these damage loops in the Abyss Climb because they just send you back so far.
Yeah. Yep, and there's a whatever damage warp save point right there. Oh, he's gonna be taking the right side of this. Me trying it again. That's good, showing off his skill.
Yeah, that there's notably the hardest pogo probably in the Abyss Climb.
He's taking it. He's even taking pogos that aren't even optimal. Dude, you love to see it. Tipu making his way out, a couple minutes behind PB pace. Definitely cannot be feeling good after this race, but that's definitely our unfortunate. But hopefully we will see good things in other races. They both have 2 more races. Yeah, 2 more races. Hopefully more if either make top 16, top 16. Both of them still can make top 16, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, even with a loss here, it's still possible to make top 16. Maybe not as likely as other runners, but certainly possible with some good luck with matchups and other factors.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, top 16 is guaranteed, I believe, for 5-0 and 4-1 players, and some 3-2 get it, but I don't think a lot of 3-2 will get it.
Yeah, only 4 3-2 players will make a top 16.
Yeah. Yeah, but as Nerf says in chat, Tipu knows what he's doing. He just needs better execution. I think that just goes to say for the entire run. I think he knows what he's doing for the entire run. He just needs to maybe grind out a little more ILs, do some extra offline practice, and I think he'll be a very, very good runner for this category, or even better than he already is.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see where Tipu goes from here.
Yep, and his THK fight. Hopefully we'll see good things. Coming in at a 6 soul, which is good for the fight. Yeah, this fight is, as we saw with Cerpin, Cerpin made it look pretty easy. Got some bad RNG though. Definitely a very RNG dependent fight, which could be a little unfortunate in some situations where you're not comfortable with THK parrying 4 times in a row. And sometimes you're just standing there looking a little bit dumb as he just parries over and over and over.
Yeah, it really hurts to be on like good PB pace and just lose 10 seconds to THK being unfriendly with his attacks.
Yep. And sometimes when he's parrying too, when he's parrying, you get it more aggressive and you try to do things. But talking about bad RNG, hopefully we'll make Tipu have some good RNG. Already screaming, definitely a good fight from Tipu.
Yeah, made quick work at THK here.
Almost cursed him, but finishes the fight off. Huge GG's to Tipu. It's very difficult to keep running after an unfortunate death or two. But he made it. He made bouncing back look easy.
Yeah, GG's to Tipu.
All right, so hopefully soon we're going to be seeing both runners get in here for an interview. And yeah, so we will be asking for them in the for the interview.
Hi.
Cerpin, hello.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah, congratulations. Joined by Tipu here now. GG's Tipu.
Yeah, GG. What was Cerpin's time?
56:01.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. There was no way I would have won.
Yeah, a very, very, very solid time from Cerpin. How are you both runners feeling after that race?
That was bad run. but there is few things I'm very happy about, and one of them is I got my first one cycle Umon run. That was pretty pog.
That's great to see. First one cycle Umu in a race. I know us and chat were both impressed.
I heard some sounds from that. Yeah. Although I was quite focused on my own run. GG.
Itchy.
Cerpin, what were your thoughts? Yeah, sorry, you go.
I made a ton of mistakes that I wish I didn't. I missed an E-Pogo. Also, something else. Like, I missed E-Pogo. I spent a minute on Isthmus skip.
Yeah,
And
Dreamers.
Dreamer plats. I saw Dalton, I think. Right, oh no, in the chat, and then like, what happened? And then I looked over, and then suddenly I was falling out.
Yeah, Dreamer plats are obviously impossible.
Yeah. We should patch those out as well. Patch
Oh,
out
yeah.
everything.
I looked my splits and I actually golded Mantis Claw because it was like 2 hours before race. I just did some practice and I learned double dash Mantis Pogo, and then I did it on Tornado race and got easy gold. So that was pretty nice also.
That's nice. Yeah, absolutely. So Serpin being 2-1 and Tipu being 1-2. What are your guys' hopes for the rest of the tournament?
Get one legit win because my first one was Deku.
Mm-hmm.
My
That's
goal
a-
would be to stop being that nervous. It's terrifying. I don't even understand why.
That's a great goal.
Yeah, my both deaths were like, it's dumb to say, but they were because of dumb RNG. But yeah, I could have played both better, but still, RNG was dumb.
Yep. Yeah, Tipu definitely got screwed by RNG and Sanctum a little bit.
Oh yeah.
No idea what happened on that Abyss climb. No, Abyss climb, but the sibling climb. It was just something.
Being 4 HP there is definitely pretty scary. And just a 1 or 2 mistake can take you out. So I think we're going to be ending out here pretty soon. Serpin and Tipu, are there anything you want to say to the chat? Anything you want to leave us off with?
GG. Thank you for a real race.
Yeah, GG. Nothing else.
All right. If there's nothing else from my co-commentator or either of the racers, chat, you're cute. Runners, you're cute. And Spicy, you are cute.
And
Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.